Yo peeps, it's Caucus here. This is going to be a ranking tier list for every weapon in AlbionOnline, just for solo content in the Outlands. So please keep in mind, it's not for duo things, it's not for Hellgate, it's not for Crystal, not for small and big scale, just for solo content. And please put everything with a grain of salt, just because I know there will be some peeps going around and saying, no, you're wrong, and I get that. Yeah, it's just my personal review about things and stuff. So yeah, take everything with a grain of salt. And big thanks to Big Lips McGee. He actually shared his media data to me and the Albion creators. It would have been so much work downloading every icon. It's like about 125 icons. Yeah, big thanks to him. I will put a link into the description. Share some love and yeah, tell him it's Caucus mich. Let's just start off the bat. The Daybreaker has good mobility, good damage, can wear an offhand, but the E is kinda clunky. It has a standing time. I was thinking about making it to S tier, but just because the E has a standing time and usually you want to get fast, you want to be quick and don't want to wait, I will consider this as an A rank. The Heron Spear, kinda similar. The stun duration is pretty neat and also can wear an offhand, but lacks a bit of mobility. Also consider this as an A rank. The Glaive, it's good for Terries if you want to pull enemies inside a Terry or inside mobs, whatever. It has a good use, but other than that, it's kinda useless. But I put it to B just because of the Terry thing. The One-Hand Spear, absolute S tier. If you have high mobility, you have high damage, the E does not have a standing time, can also wear an offhand, absolutely would recommend. A Pike could be nice for the if you invis gank a Gatherer and just deal a lot of damage in the beginning, could be nice, but yeah, other than that, the catch potential is not pretty good. The Trinity Spear, also really high damage, but lacks mobility, would take it to the C rank as well. Spirit Hunter also good damage, but the E is easily dodged, so yeah. And what else do we have? The Tomb Hammer. Yeah, about the hammers, I think Tomb Hammer is the only one which could work theoretically. It has a good mobility and the stun duration is quite long, but other, yeah, like if you fight against 1 versus 2, it's kind of hard. So I would consider this as a C tier. Yeah, don't use it. It's only for the Hand of Justice, only for group scale. This is absolutely a meme weapon. I'm sorry if you like this weapon, but it's absolutely garbage. And the Grove Keeper. I was thinking about Grove Keeper's actually useful because in reference to Sarasti using that for one-shotting people with Porklock. Yeah, but with the diminishing returns, the stun duration not lasting long enough, it went useless. So yeah, sadly F rank. Yeah, this is also not really useful. The One-Hand Frost is absolute garbage. No, it's absolute S tier. High mobility, the E is an instant cast, deals high damage, roots enemies, and can wear an offhand. Would absolutely recommend. One of the best weapons out there in my opinion. The Chill Howl, the E, kind of useless if you fight against many players. So yeah, like no, wouldn't recommend. Permafrost, usually top tier in every scenario, but as a solo player, not really useful. This, no, don't use it. It's similar to Forgemers. Just I've not seen anyone playing that ever. No, just don't. The Great Frost could be, yeah, but yeah, not really that good. The Glacier, yeah, could be, but really not that good. No, it was the Icicle, and that as well. It's fine in now, but no, it's not fine. What else do we have? The Ironclad. Well, similar to the Glaive. It has a good use in static dungeons, knocking people into mobs, but yeah, that's the only thing. That's why I will put it to B. The normal quarterstaff has widely used in corrupted dungeons, but from now on, I mean, the mobility is fine, but yeah, similar to the Tomb Hammer. Staff of Balance, don't use it. The double-bladed, I was thinking about putting that to S tier as well, but I think I will stick to A, just because, I mean, it has the highest mobility in-game. You can catch up to anything and you can outrun everything. And the E also slows. You have a lot of stuns, but what it really lacks is the fighting ability. When someone dismounts and fights you, it's pretty hard to deal with from my experience, so I always consider this A rank. The Great Seeker is fine, but compared to the double-bladed, a bit weaker, so I will put it to B. The Black Monk Staff, I've not seen anyone doing that, and I wouldn't do it either. Yeah, the E is simply dodged, so I will put it to E. As we have the Soul Scythe. It's a shot caller weapon, so not really useful for solo plays. The Bedrock Mace. Everyone loves and hates about Bedrock Maces. Me generally, I like them. They are kind of meme weapon, but kind of good sometimes. Similar to the Ironclad and the Glaive, you can knock people into things and just annoy them, but they are not compared to the Ironclad and the Glaive. Make it, I think a C rank is fine with it. The One-Hit Mace, absolute S tier, high mobility, nice stance, a root, can be an offhand, good damage, it's just a good weapon. The Incubus, just for PvE, Kamlan, only good for clumps. This is good for ganking and such. Don't use that. The Oath Keepers, absolute garbage. Maybe as a solo player, they could work for some reason, but yeah, the E is kinda. I don't know. I don't know really, so I will put it to E. The Wildfire is dealing a lot of damage. The Firewall comes in good use sometimes, but what it really lacks and what I don't like about fire staffs as a solo player is the lack of mobility. Yeah, just the lack of mobility, so I will put it to D. Same for the one-hand fire, has good damage. Infernal is just good for group content, so don't use that. The what is it? The blazing is kinda good when you do. It's good when you have a clump and so on, but it's not working in solo content. So yeah, don't use that. Yeah. Well, I mean, if you place a firewall really decent in open world and just put the E inside so the enemy can't escape. I've seen that once, Professor Pew Pew doing that in corrupted dungeons, but in open world it's just nearly impossible to do so, so that's why I will stick to F. The Dawn Song, only good in group group content, I'd say, not really useful for solo plays. The Great Fire also only good for group content. The Brimstone, I was, yeah, like the Glaive and Ironclad thing. If we consider the Sleepy Brimstone made by Shakisha, it's absolute S tier, just because you can kill dozens of people with 2 or 3 hits. It's absolute S tier, but for solo plays in general, like in the open world, it's not really good, like having 1v1 situations and such. So I would consider this for B, just because of the Sleepy Brimmy. Other than that, if I wouldn't know about Sleepy Brimmy, I would consider this as F tier, absolutely. Bloodletter, sure guys, you know, this is absolute garbage, don't use that. Yeah, like, it's absolute overpowered, it has high mobility, high damage, can kill people within seconds, can wear an offhand, execute, nearly kills everything. So yeah, this is first one, absolute first one. One-hand dagger was used to be S tier with the one-hand dagger set, the one-shot set, but right now it became so useless. Yeah, the diminishing returns, man. Demon Fang, I've tried it. It's a garbage weapon. The bleeding is, no, it's just not good, man. It's a garbage weapon. Dagger pair could be. let me take some water. One moment. Okay. Dagger pair could work. Has a high damage for the E. Similar to, what was it? Which deals high damage, yeah, exactly, the pike. Similar to that. So I would consider this as a C rank. Claws is like super nice when you dismount people, but after you dismount them, you can do like nothing. So I would consider this as a C rank. Death Giver, if you, here comes the thing. If you're really good at the game and really good at Death Givers, which is a quite heavy thing to do, being good at Death Givers, this is absolute S tier, because you don't have that much of mobility, but the E gives you some mobility. It deals a lot of damage and has so much invis. People are really annoyed by that, so I would consider this as an S rank if you are really good with Death Givers. Brighted, just good for group content. Life Curse, yeah, maybe, but yeah, don't use it. One Hand Curse, S tier, absolutely. Just because the dots and the E deals so much damage, which a lot of people cannot counter and do not expect. And even if they outrun you and you have 4 dots and the E, they just die. And it has a high possibility in killing the enemies, even if they are screen away. So yeah, and of course you can wear an offhand. Like every weapon which can wear an offhand is like super nice. The Shadow Caller could be viable somehow, but yeah, it depends on what the enemy is wearing. So yeah, it's fine, but I wouldn't recommend it at all. The Curse Skull wouldn't recommend. The E is simply is dodged too easily in open world. The Great Curse is a bit better than the Curse Skull, but similar to the Shadow Caller, has a lack of mobility. The Damnation, no, don't use it. And what is that? Yeah, don't use it. No, just don't. That was a Great Curse, so yeah. Suck. The X-bow, one-hand X-bow. It has, I think, one of the highest damage out there, the highest damage output. But the mobility is like, but it can wear an offhand. So yeah, I would stick to B. I would stick it to A if it has something of mobility, but it doesn't. The Weeping, No, don't use it. Heavy crossbow, no, don't use it. This one, absolutely. If you, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you go on Egg 3, this thing just shreds. Like, deals over 2k damage. Yeah, it kills like everything you can imagine. I would absolutely recommend. But it lacks of mobility, so make sure to wear some minor boots, for example. This, no, don't use it. Energy shaper, no, don't use it. Broadcaster is fine, could be used, but the E is simply to counter, so I would consider this as yeah, C. I would say C. Halberd, no, absolutely garbage. I hope they will buff Halberd in future. It was like super nice in the VZ and kind of stuff, but not working. In Carrion Corner, the E is kind of nice. Me personally, I like it, but the amount of just like no, I don't feel it. I don't feel the Carrion Corner. One hand axe. It has a really good sustain. I remember when I played the one-shot Bloodletter and I faced a one-hand battle axe with Mercenary Jacket. I lost. I lost because he was so sustained. Yeah, I would consider this, but it lacks of mobility. But it has adrenaline boost. I would put it to A because it can be an offhand tool. Infernal, no, don't use it. Bear Paws, absolutely nice weapon. Would consider this as S tier because the E has good mobility. It's a jump, deals a lot of damage. Of course, you can miss your spell, but yeah, it's absolutely S tier. Realm Breaker, no, don't use it for. It's only good for group content. Great Axe. Great Axe, maybe between C and D. I think it's C. C is kind of fine because it's an iframe and you can dodge through things. That's kind of good, but that's it, yeah. Are the arcane staffs? I think I will not talk about them. I don't think they're really good for solo plays. I've tried the Evensong ones and it was absolute garbage. So yeah, don't do that. The Broadsword. It could be doable. 1v1 fights. Should be fine with it. But as soon as you have a second opponent, I don't think it's that good. So I think I will stick to B. Clarion Blade. I have mixed feelings about it, so I'll put it to D. The E is not working properly like what they try to do with the E, as I think it should. It needs a complete rework, I think. Guillotines, no, don't use it. Kingmaker, from what I've seen in static solo things and such, it's really nice, deals a lot of damage, has good sustain with the Hellion Jacket of course, but other than that, not really useful in open world in a solo play. But yeah, the aesthetic thing is kinda good playing against groups. Dual swords, I'm really wondering why dual swords are not a thing. They have good mobility, the jump is kinda decent. So yeah, I think maybe in future I will try to do the dual swords. But yeah, from my experience, I've never tried it before and I've never seen anyone doing so. So I consider this for B. I think they can be good. But yeah, like in comparison to those weapons, it's nothing. Claymore could be used in 1v1 situations, kinda good, but like the Boltcasters, the iframe for the E, but that's it, so yeah. carving. I would consider this, I think, for an S on A or A tier, just because eQuad is playing it and he's really doing well. Yeah, I think it's S tier, because the mobility with the E is kind of nice and it looks nice. So I just needed a break because like talking for about 20 minutes I had a dry mouth. So yeah, I'm recording again, and yeah, what do we have next? The war bow. Yeah, considering the mobility and the kiting potential, it's a really good weapon in the Outlands. I will consider this for an S tier as well, just because I'm sorry, just because it's pretty easy to fight more than one. It has, like I said, good mobility, so yeah, I'm sticking to the S rank as well. The Mist Piercer, the E is too clunky in my opinion. It doesn't have a good use in open world. The E is like super useless in hitting someone. It's like super hard. I will consider this for the F rank. The Bow of Baden, compared to the Warbow, it's a bit better, but the E has a high cooldown, but I will consider this as an S rank also, just because the mobility is quite nice and you can fight casting classes like Frost and especially healers. You just interrupt them with the E. That's kind of dope. What do we have next? The Wailing, absolute garbage. It's like a warbow. Like the cooldown is way too high. The E does not enough damage. Consider this as an E rank. The Longbow, from now on, I think the warbow is the longbow is quite decent. It does a lot of damage and has high damage output, but the E is easily dodged, so I think I will take this to the C tier. The normal bow, it's quite handy. It does a lot of damage even after the nerf. After the nerf, it does a lot of damage, but the E has like, you have to stand still, and that's what you really don't want in open world, to stand still. So I will consider this as a C rank as well. The Whispering, also pretty nice. We'll consider this as an S tier also. The range is super high. You don't have to stay still. You can run and just auto attack, kinda. Especially with Assassin or Mercenary Jacket. It has potential in dismounting and surprising people, so we'll consider this for the S rank as well. So yeah, talking about the gloves, I think the only one which could have high potential because of its mobility with the E are the Fists of Avalon. I would love to see someone playing that in open world, just because the mobility and the E is kinda cool and nice. So I will consider this just in theory for an A rank. See how it goes. Maybe in future I will test them out, because just in theory it could have pretty high potential. The Raven Strike, I would not use them. The E is a bit clunky and it's easily dodged. Consider this for an E rank. As do we have, I think these are the Spike Gauntlets, not really useful for open world. I wouldn't recommend the Earthen, I wouldn't recommend at all, and these I wouldn't recommend also. And this I would consider maybe for a C rank. Yeah, the E does a lot of damage but has low mobility, and this one also not really useful. I'm sorry about the gloves. I haven't played them really, so just in theory. So please keep in mind. If you think one of the gloves is really good in like 1v1 situations in the open world, please tell me in the comments. So yeah, these are just the offense. I don't put any healers in, because I don't think healers are really good in the Outlands. Maybe some kind of nature. Talking about iron is pretty good for 2v2, but no, I like having at least 2 guys and you just bind yourself to your mate or something. So yeah, that's the tier list. Make sure to check some of those weapons. Like I said, I will split the video in every weapon tree, so you can make sure to just skip the video and see which weapon may fit you the best. And if you have any clips on like the Staff of Balance killing people, please send me those. I would like to see them. So yeah, that's it for today. Kokos out.